We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
The program presented are submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNLY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Good morning, and God bless you. I'm your host, Orlando Daniels, with today's Entrepreneur, and I'm excited about each and every guest that comes on this platform because I get the opportunity to allow them to share what not only they're able to provide and bring to the community, but just abroad, all across the board. And with this platform, we're not limited to what we're able to bring because entrepreneurship is just not limited to one aspect of living or life. And so I want to introduce to you Mr. Ty Smith, the Break Drake experience. This gentleman is amazing. There are people that God introduces you to and you immediately connect and there's a bond without trying to make it happen. And so it's been that kind of experience for myself. So I want Mr. Ty Smith to introduce himself, and we're going to get over to some questions, and I'm sure those who are listening may want to call in. So the new number, or the number to the station, is 281-292-7911 if you have any questions you want to call in and share this morning.
Hello everybody. So I'm Ty Smith, and one of the main things I do right now is I'm the manager of a musician, local artist here in Houston. His name is Blake Break. You can contact me at Blake Break info. That's info@blakebreak.com, or tydrosmith94@gmail.com, and we can discuss possibly getting you booked on some shows. That's one of the main things I do as his manager. We look at all kinds of venues around Houston. We're looking at some places in Austin, some places in Dallas, Fort Worth as well. Just trying to get any sort of show that's already booked, that's looking for any sort of local support. That's one aspect of it. Right now we have a big show coming up at Houston Underground, August 23rd. This is one of the bigger deals that we're doing. It's his first headlining show. So as his manager, I had to find a venue, book the venue, and then now we're making flyers, hitting every other big showcase that's happening, like the Blink-182 Lil Wayne show that just happened. I dropped probably 250 tickets on people's cars last night. Just, that's an aspect of the game. You got to go down there, get your feet on the ground, start moving, making things happen, be consistent.
Now, I love when I see the humility of, everyone that comes to this platform because they're genuine. But let me say this. He says, that's all I do. This gentleman is like one of the hardest workers that I've come across in this field or this industry. And you would think he is pushing several artists, but he goes hard for just Blake. And, I love that because sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, or people that's just in industry or any area, we don't have that balance, but we're always trying to take on more. And you've just mastered this one thing, and you've been working it since we've been talking. And I knew that it was important to not just have Blake because he had come here and shared with one of our hosts before and on several occasions, but in talking with you, giving this platform to you so that people really know some of the work that goes behind the scenes in establishing an artist, working for an artist, the sleepless nights that comes with, because I think we've messaged before in the wee hours, all because we understand the importance of the hustle, the grind. What's next outside of what you're doing for Blake and really trying to solidify that foundation? I know that people are going to be watching, people are going to be listening. I'm certain there's so many artists out here, not just in Houston, but just all across the world that's trying to get in this industry. What would be some of the key things that you would communicate as a manager that someone who does not have one should be looking for?
So the thing that I have to say is if you are trying to be a creative, and especially a musician or an artist in the music industry, and you don't have a manager, you need to get one, because you will get writer's block from time to time. It's just a part of the industry. You will lose your creative flows, and you need somebody that can keep that positive energy coming, that focus coming from your fan base, either by it growing or becoming, those sorts of deals, and that sort of picking you up, or just getting you a show that you weren't expecting to get, those sorts of deals. That's where your manager comes into play. That's where I try to tell Blake, hey man, so you know how you were kind of struggling, thinking about, you don't know if you still want to do this anymore, that sort of deal. I was one of the only people showing up at his shows type deal, and just as a friend, you know. And then he asked me, because he's seen me networking, he's like, Ty, like, kind of needs you to be my manager. How do you feel about it? I was like, man, you know, honestly, I'm in college still, trying to finish up my degree. And I told him, I was like, that's one of my main focuses right now. I'm trying to finish my degree, which is in live entertainment technology. And so it's one of those things that's kind of ironic that I've kind of worked some in the music industry, and I've got friends that are in it doing it, and I've got this degree that's kind of like the back behind the scenes parts of it. And now I'm going to be one of, like, honestly, I think Blake's going to be on Billboard Top 100 charts next year. Like, he's got the potential. This show that we're doing, it's his album release. Everything that you see on social media, on the internet, on any of his music right now, if you enjoy it, you're going to enjoy this next, like, 1,000 times better. It's all coming way more professional quality videos. We're getting some really nice headshots. This first show, it's going to be our showcase in the sense we're coming out as an artist.
Wow. You know, when we think about, you know, business, the music industry is a business. I had a Pastor Michael Sheets of Abundant Faith on a few days ago, and we talked about church. It's still a business. And I think we lose sight of all the other things because we bypass the foundational part, which is establishing the order, and the business aspect. But also being able to separate the two, being his friend, being a fan, being able to support, and then getting others to become fans, getting others to be supportive. And I think a lot of people don't realize, or I don't think they don't realize, I think we all realize the importance of having support, having that push, having that motivation. And then you mentioned writer's block, and I think the listeners, some of those who really know me, I was in the music industry for years. And when I signed a record deal, the very producer that produced T.I. was DJ Toomp in Atlanta. But God had a whole nother plan for me. My life just changed overnight. And I was like, you know, God knows how to order our steps, and he knows how to bring us into what he's purposed for us. And so in you pursuing your degree, and you've chosen to put that, and I don't think you've forgotten about it, because that's still going to always be there, but put that to the side and say, hey, let me step in because I see the potential. And that's one of the things that I think we all miss when it comes to, you know, anything, is seeing the potential and knowing that this is the direction God is leading us to go, or this is, you know, and I tell people, just because it's a good idea doesn't mean it's a God idea. And so you definitely tapped into that God idea and stepped in and made the sacrifice, and that's going to pay off real big for you.
I mean, and see, the thing about it is, I told Blake from the get-go, it's not about money or anything like that. It's like, it's all love for him. And like you said, I see the potential.
That's it. That's
like,
it.
I've known him for 8 years or so, since we were teenage kids growing up in a little podunk town. Got out as quick as we could, you know, just like how I feel like it's one of those kind of American small town tales, you know. And I really see him applying himself and doing things, going to the studio 3-4 times a week, that sort of deal. And then outside of that, I've hooked him up with a little bit of an in-home studio so he can cut down the actual studio time, because he'll have rough tracks that he can go in there, and then boom, it's, instead of an hour, now it's 30-45, you know. And that type of thing, it adds up. It makes an extra song in that time length, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things where on this show, I'm building artist relations with Blake and these other artists. We've got 2 guys coming in from Atlanta. We've already got a song with one of them where Blake's going to sing the hook. They're going to perform that live.
Wow.
That's all the info y'all are getting on that one. And then on top of that, there's a Houston artist that's got a song with Blake, in which That's all the info you're getting on that one too.
Listen, you're gonna have to come out to the show to get all the just the exclusive. I'm gonna be there. KNLY, we're gonna be in the building. We're gonna do all we can to push and make this a epic event. But you're putting in the work, man. I mean, and I'm excited because, you know, for me, I'm always ATL. That's just, you know, I'm from Decatur where it's greater, and it just doesn't get any better for me. But being able to be here, being in Houston, and seeing how people are really about that life. People are really about, you know, entrepreneurship and business. And I tell people, out of all the years I've lived here, I've been able to embrace the difference and the changes. And when we talk about embracing differences and changes, being in the industry, and we've seen how so much has changed. We've moved away from live music. Everything has become about, you know, digital and sampling and things of that nature. There's so many new laws and things that won't allow you to use some things. How do you still, as a manager, but have an ear as an artist, and encourage not just Blake but any other artist that you come across to not only keep it simple but choose to do something that's different and outside of the box?
It's all about trying to be consistent and have your own original blend on something. That's what it is. Whenever I talk to people, I'm like, okay, they'll come to me and they'll say, oh, I sound sort of like this, because they want me to have ear sound relatability, what they're trying to come at me with. And I tell them, all right, you know, like if someone tells me they're like the next Kendrick Lamar, like, do you realize what you're saying? like, okay, now.
That's a huge statement.
Exactly.
That's a huge statement.
Random internet people, they'll come at you with all that, and you'll give them all of 15 seconds that you can bear on a song, and you're like, all right, man. Like, have you listened to Kendrick Lamar? You know? And it's just, it's sad to see, though, that people, they spend so much time trying to pursue to be someone else instead of just being themselves. And so that's what I tell them. Just be yourself, as consistent as possible. And that blend of whatever you're looking for is bound to happen.
Your uniqueness is your signature. It literally sets you apart. And we don't have to compare ourselves to other people. Scripture says it's not wise. But when you learn what your gift, your grace, your talent, your uniqueness, when you tap into it, and if not, there are times that people will come into your life and identify with your potential, and they'll begin to dig deep and aid and pull that out of you. And that's what you're doing. You're literally helping birth what's already there, or you're adding to it. And it's not that he didn't have it. Sometimes we have to know how to polish, and we have to get the understanding, because people get in the industry, especially in the music industry, they're so zealous about getting in because they see the limelight, they see the hype, they see all the things, but they don't understand the work. They really don't understand the work. Even just being in radio, being on this platform, listen, it's work here. I mean, when I get up in the morning, I'm, up pretty much about 5. I'm already engaging in conversation and trying to prepare. And then when I leave here, I'm still working and in the wee hours of the morning. Here's a good question, because when we consider people that desire to get into the industry, but they find it hard, what would be the best route that you would tell someone? Because now we got YouTube that's making it, the overnight sensation, Justin Bieber. Who else? We have several artists that were, YouTube phenomenons that were discovered just through YouTube.
That's true. And I hate to sound like I'm interjecting in a negative way about YouTube, but here's what I highly suggest when it comes to artists that are starting out. If you want to do something, look for what's also small. Look what else is on the independent up. Whether it's a live stream sort of thing like You Now, or trying to do like a musical, like example, we had Blake do his first about 15-minute little mini concert live stream yesterday on You Now. We're going to try to get him set up to do one on Twitch as well. Certain things like that where you can be more fan interactive while you're doing it, as opposed to YouTube, where you have to have 1,000 fans already to subscribe to your channel before you can do any live streaming. That sort of deal. It makes it more sort of restrictive on the brand new independent artists. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you really don't get as well as a good fan interaction with that, because they can only post comments after. they really can't interact with you live. And so we're just trying to like find as many of those new up and coming platforms to just get on. Like imagine if you could have got the radio station doing a Snapchat segment when Snapchat was in its first year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're trying to find similar but different things like that for Blake.
I got something for you. Listen, if you have not been following Blake Drake, if you have not connected, here's the avenue right here. Ty Smith, we talked about whether or not he's going to be taking on some other artists, but listen, he works like he has a whole bunch of people, and that is the dedication. And so I encourage you, come out. Give them the dates again, give them a phone number, Instagram, Facebook, give them whatever they're going to need so that they can attend outside of what I'm going to do to push.
Awesome. So yes, you can contact me at 936-577-8788. Call me and we can book anything that we've got going on, or if you need any bookings, you've got an event and you need some other local support, we've got you. You can hit me up at info@blakebreak.com. info@blakebreak.com. Email me there, or at Tydro, that's TYDRO, Smith, SMITH, 94@gmail.com. And we can talk about anything coming up. We've got a few other friends that we have affiliated with some art events that are going down. We've got a comedy event that's going down as well on the 3rd. So yes, if you just hit me up, I've got more info at all of those events.
Listen, I'm going to have tickets. I'm going to have access. I'm going to have the things that you need. So follow me, follow Ty Smith, Blake Drake, and most importantly, follow KNLY 91.1 The Boss. Nobody does it bigger or better than The Boss. You all enjoy your day. It's Thursday. We're getting ready for Cachet. You all be blessed.